Rembrandt van Rijn, a visionary of the 17th century, mastered the art of chiaroscuro like no other. In this video, we'll explore how this Dutch genius used the interplay of light and shadow to create portraits and biblical scenes that transcend time and space. Let's take a journey into the mind and heart of this incomparable artist. Imagine a canvas where darkness and light dance an eternal tango, where every brushstroke is a whisper of mystery and every shadow holds a secret. Rembrandt, the artist who turned painting into a game of light and shadow, invites us to a visual feast where psychological depth is revealed in every corner of his works. From portraits that seem to look directly into the soul, where every shadow and glimmer of light reveals the psychological depth of his characters, capturing the essence of their souls with masterful brushstrokes, to biblical scenes that come to life with unparalleled drama, where he used chiaroscuro to infuse drama and emotion into his depictions, creating a universe of light and shadow where the divine and the human intertwine in a unique visual dance. Every brushstroke, every contrast immerses us in a world of mystery and revelation, a universe where the visible and the invisible intertwine in an embrace of artistic genius. Are you ready to be seduced by chiaroscuro, the technique that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary and the mundane into the sublime? Chiaroscuro is a method of shading used to give figures a sense of three-dimensional volume, creating contrasts between light and shadow to model shapes and create depth in works of art. Rembrandt masterfully used chiaroscuro to create dramatic effects in his works, influenced by Caravaggio's Tenebrism, a painting technique that takes chiaroscuro to the extreme, highlighting intensely lit areas in the midst of deep darkness. This influence is reflected in the way Rembrandt used light to accentuate the features of his characters and create dramatic atmospheres in his paintings, as can be seen in works such as The Night Watch. Through this technique, Rembrandt was able to breathe life into his characters and convey intense emotion, making a clear connection with the Tenebrist tradition initiated by Caravaggio. Caravaggio's Tenebrism had a significant influence on Rembrandt's work, especially in his treatment of light and shadow. Like Caravaggio, Rembrandt mastered the technique of chiaroscuro, which uses intense contrasts of light and shadow to model forms and create depth in a composition. These effects of light and shadow, combined with his mastery of chiaroscuro, contributed to the creation of exceptional works that stand out for their emotional depth, realism, and ability to capture the human essence in his portraits. This technique, mastered by Rembrandt, consists of a play of light and shadow that adds depth and realism to paintings. It is based on dramatic lighting that highlights certain areas while leaving others in darkness, creating a striking and realistic visual effect. It is achieved by using a single light source to create zones of intense brightness and areas of shadow, highlighting key elements and giving the work a three-dimensional feel. Artists such as Caravaggio and, of course, Rembrandt are known for their mastery of chiaroscuro to convey drama and depth in their paintings. In his portraits and biblical scenes, Rembrandt used intense contrasts of light and shadow to emphasize the psychology of his characters and create an emotional impact on the viewer. Through the use of chiaroscuro, Rembrandt was able to model shapes, emphasize key elements, and create an atmosphere of tension and mystery in his works, making him one of the undisputed masters of this pictorial technique. Some of Rembrandt's most iconic works include The Night Watch, painted in 1642, The Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Nicolet's Tulp, painted in 1632, and The Return of the Prodigal Son, painted between 1663 and 1665. These works are not only outstanding examples of Rembrandt's talent, but also reflect his ability to capture emotion and depth in his paintings, establishing him as one of the great masters of art. A master of light and shadow, Rembrandt left us an unparalleled artistic legacy in which technique merges with emotion and the visible intertwines with the invisible. His genius lives on in every brushstroke, every shadow, every glimmer of light. Tell us what you think about this particular technique that inspired this great painter. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the art and creativity of one of the greatest masters of all time.